America's pastime, but now there's a little change in that.
Not only, you know, it's the summer game, and we're pretty good at it, but we're not the only country that it's the national pastime of. And on this first day of summer, it's still a Canadian team leading the American League East. The Blue Jays opened a 4-game set with the Yankees tonight at the Sky Dome. New York came in and won 2 in a row, and they jumped on top in the top of the first when Don Mattingly doubled to right center. Steve Sachs came in to give the Yanks a 1-0 lead. The Jays tied it up in the second inning when rookie John Olerud connected off Andy Hawkins. Watch this one. Keep going, keep going, keep going. Right out of the yard. A solo shot tied it at 1. Toronto led it 2-1 in the 6th when Mel Hall struck the long ball for the second straight day. This 2-run job to right put the Yanks up 3-2. They went on to win it 7-6 for their 3rd straight win. Now, you might think these kids would rather be in summer school than watching the Indians play, but they got their money's worth tonight as the Tribe took on Baltimore. Top of the first, Randy Milliken went deep to straightaway center off Greg Swindell, 402 feet, and the lead run, 1-0 Orioles. Then in the 6th, it was 1-1 when Mickey Tettleton said, hey, I can do that too, and he did, thumping this one to center field as well for a 2-1 Oriole lead. And you know, maybe I'll vote for that guy Tettleton for the All-Star game. Yeah, here's another name to remember, Carlos Berga. In the bottom of the 8th, Berga doubled deep into the left field corner to score 2 runs and tie this game at 3. The Indians went on to win it in 10, 4-3. All we need on this next game is a final. The Royals lead the Twins 14-4 in the 7th. In tonight's only National League action, the West-leading Reds took on the cellar-dwelling Braves in Atlanta. Cincinnati was looking to take 3 of 4 from the Bravos. They got 1 run in the 2nd, and then in the 3rd, John Smoltz bounced the curveball off the ump's foot. Chris Sabo scored 2-zip. The Braves had a chance to tie it up when Jeff Treadway singled to left here. Lonnie Smith came chugging around, trying to score from second, but Eric Davis, the great throw to Joe Oliver to nail Smith at the plate. It was still 2-1. The Reds had a 3-2 lead with 2 out in the 9th when pinch hitter Tommy Gregg drilled a fly ball to center over Billy Hatcher's head. Dave Justice scored to tie it. Alexis Infante scored to win it, and it was celebration time in Atlanta as the Braves took a 4-3 decision from the Reds. Mike Marshall wants to escape from New York. The slugger has told the Mets he wants to be traded after this season, and he won't take no for an answer. Marshall came from the Dodgers in a winter trade. He started the year as the Mets' regular first baseman, but he's been slumping lately, and Dave Magadan has taken over that position. So Marshall says he just doesn't fit in New York, and he wants out. Well, the Charlotte Rangers dropped their 3rd straight Florida State League game tonight, 3-1 to the St. Lucie Mets. The Mets got a home run from DJ Dozier, who might be more familiar to you, in another uniform, that of the Minnesota Vikings, for whom he ran for 207 yards as running back a year ago. Well, wet and wild is the way to describe this weekend's jet ski races off Fort Myers Beach. The International Jet Ski Boating Association Tour stops in Southwest Florida Saturday and Sunday for a series of races. The best jet ski racers in the world will be competing for over $12,000 in prize money, including Naples' Chris McCluggage, a 16-year-old who's quite a rider himself. You can see men's and women's competition in closed course, slalom, and freestyle divisions. They'll start their engines at 10 a.m. both days, and the Lani Kai on the beach is the place to get wet and see it all. Hale Irwin's still riding the wave of his U.S. Open championship. Today in the first round of the PGA's Buick Open in New York, Irwin fired a 5-under 66 that included a hole-in-one. He's tied for second, 1 stroke behind the leader, Tour rookie Kirk Triplett. Naples' Nancy Lopez is tied with Kathy Postlewaite after 1 round of the LPGA's Rochester International. Both players are at 4 under par. Lopez has already won 3 times at Rochester. And the Detroit Pistons didn't have any trouble finding a White House today. This, after all, was the NBA champion's 2nd straight trip to see the president. In fact, one senator said these guys are spending more time at the White House than the Democrats these days. Finals MVP Isaiah Thomas presented President Bush with a Pistons jersey, #1, of course.
Anybody get that Democrat's name?
No.
Thanks, Ken.